Welcome back to Joester Reviews, the show where we review things. Today's subject of reviewing, Black Widow. For real this time, because last week I released a review of it where I hadn't actually seen it at the time and just made stuff up about it. But whatever, let's just get on with this actual real review this time. I haven't scripted this one, so you might have a lot of clips where I'm just stuttering a lot. So first, let's talk about the good. Now, the thing about recent Marvel movies is that they're all really well produced. The performances are great, the action is amazing, they just look well and just very clearly have really high production value. And this one is absolutely no different. And as also with a lot of the recent Marvel movies, they're all really funny. And this one is, again, no different. The standout characters here in terms of humorous personalities was definitely Yelena and Red Guardian. Florence Pugh and David Harbour were really great. And they were all just really entertaining to watch. And we've reached the point of the MCU where it's there's a lot of borderline meta stuff where they're starting to make fun of stuff they did in the past. There's one scene in this movie where Yelena makes fun of that one landing pose that Natasha does whenever she's fighting, and it's really funny. I also quite like Taskmaster in this movie as the secondary villain. I thought she was pretty interesting. I liked the fact that she is the embodiment of Natasha's greatest moral compromise. So Black Widow spends this movie literally running from her past. And I know that some people really didn't like the costume design for Taskmaster, but I personally did like it. I thought it looked pretty interesting. I definitely know that a lot of people really didn't like this version of Taskmaster because it was really very different from the comics, and I can understand that. But I personally I'm personally not the biggest fan of Taskmaster in the comics. So it didn't really bother me that much, for all of the changes they made. I understand why some people might not like how they changed his, their power set, because in the comics, the photographic, memory fighting style duplicating thing is, an innate ability of Taskmaster, but in this movie, it's comes from the computer programmed helmet and something, and also, but I personally didn't really mind it. As I said, I'm not that big of a fan of Taskmaster from the comics, so it didn't really bother me at all. I also just really like it whenever the MCU does stuff into genres much more than just a traditional superhero movie. With the Spider-Man movies, they made it a teen drama rather than a superhero movie, and Ant-Man is a heist film, and this one, much like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Captain America the Winter Soldier, is a spy film, and I love spy films. Spy films are my guilty pleasure. No matter how bad a movie is, if it's about spies, then I will love it. I loved the Charlie's Angels 2019 movie. I just love this genre, so no matter how bad this film even ended up being, which it wasn't bad at all, really. Yeah, the storyline was kind of not super interesting. I just love spy movies, so I love it anyway. Now let's talk about the bad. Now, of course, this film is good. Nothing I'm about to mention is a deal breaker by any means. It just makes the film a little bit worse. Okay, and the first thing that comes to mind is the villain. Now, Dreykov was all right. He was serviceable, but like he just seems so bad in comparison to the rest of the recent Marvel villains because like whether or not you like them, they still have like solid motivations for why they're doing what they're doing, like with Mysterio, Zemo, Thanos, Vulture, Ego, Hela, and they're all like Flag Smasher even, but in this one, Dreykov is like the evil mastermind behind the Red Room. He's just sort of bland. Like, he's just evil for the sake of being evil. Like, he's also very, very sexist, which, I just don't understand why they couldn't have given him like some kind of motivation for why he's doing all these awful things, but like even if it's like not a good explanation, I just want an explanation. I also thought this film was kind of weirdly structured. Like I like the ending and like the final battle with Taskmaster at the Red Room in the sky, but the ending itself, like they like all of the main characters sort of like regroup on the ground for like this big family group hug, and then everyone else leaves, including like the unbrainwashed widows and Taskmaster, and then General Ross shows up like with like this convoy of cars getting ready to like arrest Nat, and we have no idea what happens after that. Like after that, it just like cuts 2 weeks later, and then Black Widow all of a sudden has like blonde, her hair dyed blonde, and like that one agent guy is giving her a Quinjet. Like, what? How did we get to this point? Why didn't you show us what happened after Ross arrested her? I want to know this. Like, the ending just felt like weirdly rushed. Like, it just felt like the movie was building up to something, and that something never happened. I don't even know what it would have been, but we just never got to see it, so I don't even know. I guess the final verdict on Black Widow is that it is a very entertaining film with lots of great action, great characters, with a weird structure, and a generic villain. But, like, none of those bad things really weighed down in it. Sorry, I just, like, had a mini burp right then. I hope the mic did not pick it up. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not subscribe and like and hit all of the buttons except for the dislike one. Actually, give it a dislike. I don't care. Like, the dislikes help get my videos like better boost on the algorithm, so why not just help get this video to 5 dislikes? No one's going to do that because no one interacts with my videos anymore, so alright. Well, bye. I'm tired and I should probably take my dog on a walk because it's like 4:30 in the afternoon and he's bugging me for it right now, so bye.